To crochet the wide wind spinner, you're going to need a tapestry needle, a pair of scissors, a 5mm crochet hook, and a weight for yarn. The wind spinner is made out of a total of 6 rows, so you can base your colors on however many you'd like to do. For the first row, I'm going to be starting with blue. I'm going to create a slip knot. Attach my hook, and now we're gonna chain. I'm going to do a chain of 50, but really you can chain however many you like for the length of your wind spinner. I've now finished chaining my foundation chain for my wind spinner. I did a total of 50 for mine. And to fasten it off, what I like to do is chain an extra 2 by yarning over, pulling through the loop. Take my scissors, cut the yarn, pull it through, and then pull tight to create a sturdy knot. For this pattern, we're going to be cutting off at every single end and restarting at our very beginning. For my second row, I'm going to be continuing with blue again. You can change your colors whenever you like. There's a total of 6 rows, but I'm going to go ahead, create a slip knot, and attach my hook. And this is how we do the second row. You're going to find your very first stitch right there, and you're going to single crochet once in every stitch. So since I had 50, I will have 50 single crochets. So I just enter that first stitch, yarn over, pull the yarn through to where you have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. And that is the beginning of this second row with single crochet. And just continue with 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way to the end. I'm now reaching the end of my second row. Alright, and since we're cutting off here and starting back at the beginning, I'm going to chain 2, cut the yarn, and then pull it through to tie it off. I'm now going to be starting the third row, and I'm going to change the color to pink. I'm going to create that slip knot, and then attach my hook. And for row 3, what we're going to be doing is 2 double crochets into every stitch, so that will create an increase. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is yarn over, and sometimes I like to use my finger so I can hold that yarn in place. Find that first stitch, go through it, and then yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, you have 2 remaining, yarn over, pull through 2. And repeat that a second time into the same stitch. So we're going to be doing 2 double crochets into every stitch from the previous round. I'm now at the last stitch of my 3rd row, finishing it off with 2 double crochets into that last stitch. And now I'm going to fasten it off by chaining 2, cutting the yarn, and pull it through to create a knot. And you may see your project's already starting to twirl. Now we're going to move on to row 4. For row 4, I'm going to be changing my color to white. I'm going to create that slip knot. Attach my hook. And now for this 4th row, what we're going to be doing is 3 double crochets into every stitch. So to start, yarn over to where you have 2 loops on your hook. Find that first stitch. Go in. Yarn over. Pull through to where you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and continue with a total of 3 double crochets into every stitch. I'm now reaching the end of my 4th row. I'm at my last stitch, finishing off with 3 double crochets into that last stitch. Alright, I've now finished that last stitch. Now I'm going to fasten off. Chain 2, cut the yarn, and then pull to create the knot. Yours may look a little squiggly, but don't worry, the next 2 rows will help out. Now we're going to start on row 5. For row 5, I'm going back to the pink. I'm going to create a slip knot. Attach my hook. And what we're going to be doing for this 5th row is 1 double crochet in every stitch. So yarn over so that you have 2. Find that first stitch. Go through that first stitch, yarn over, pull through, so you've got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. So just 1 double crochet into every stitch. I'm now reaching the end of the 5th row, ending with 1 double crochet into the last stitch. And now I'm going to fasten it off by chaining 2. Pulling the yarn through. Let's make a tight knot. And this is what it looks like so far. Now we're going to move on to the 6th row. For the 6th row, I'm going to be changing the color to blue. And this is how we're going to start it. You're going to go ahead and create that slip knot. And then attach the hook. But we're not going to attach it to the project yet. We're actually going to make the string piece to attach to the wind spinner to whatever you like. I'm going to chain 40. You can chain between 40 to 50, really however many you like, because basically what we're going to do is pretend the wind spinner's attached right here. We're going to double tie the yarn so that it creates an adjustable loop so that you can attach it to whatever you want. So I'm going to go ahead and start chaining 40. Alright, I have my chain 40 done. Now we're going to be moving on to the 6th row of the wind spinner. What we're going to do is 2 single crochets into every stitch. So we're going to find that first double crochet, go into the top of it, yarn over, pull through. Now you have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the 2. And then a second single crochet into that stitch. So 2 single crochets in every stitch all the way to the end. I'm now at the very last stitch of the 6th row. I'm gonna do 2 single crochets into that last stitch. And now when we fasten it off this time, you're gonna wanna leave a decently long tail for if you wanna attach a tassel, a star, a butterfly, whatever you'd like to do. So I'm gonna chain 2. And I'm gonna cut it a little further so that I can have a tail, because I don't know what I want to attach to it yet. And this is where you would attach something if you'd like to. With these ones, you can go ahead and tie them off and snip them, or you can weave them in. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what we're gonna do with our strap right here. So it's just a straight strap. Now what we're gonna do is I like to go at least 2 inches from the end right here, and I tie a knot into it. That's just to keep it from when, because it's gonna be adjustable right here, you don't want it to get all the way stuck into a ball. Now what you're gonna do, we're gonna take this under, bring it over, and you're gonna go under that loop right there, so it almost looks like a pretzel. And you're gonna pull it through that middle circle to where it comes out the bottom. And then you can go ahead and tighten it. And that is how you create it so that it is adjustable. And you can go ahead and snip that off. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.